Yeah, I see they're saying that. So let me see apply. Okay, check. All right, we should be good now. All right, we're good now. I'm seeing fluctuation. So
Okay,
as
we
long
good. We good.
as long as I'm seeing fluctuation, we good. Yeah, we're good. Let me just go ahead and shut down some of these things so it doesn't sound like I'm robotic. But we should be good now, guys. 515 605 9373 is the number. 515 605 9373 is the number. Yeah, now we got the fluctuation. So if y'all can hear us out there in the chat, just let us know. But I think we're good now. Let me double check. Check, check. All right, I think we're good now, Mr. Cario. I think we could go with Crisco
Cool,
now.
cool.
All right, Mr. Lucario. So why don't you go ahead and you want to start off with the first one? Would you like me, sir?
Now you can start off. You go ahead.
All right, I will start off with the first one. Guys, again, if y'all want to call in 515 605 9373 is a number. Press 1. We'd love to have you in. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and read the first one. First of many. Okay, Steve, I met this girl back in February. We hit it off for one night, and then I found out she had a boyfriend. Now, months later, she has no boyfriend, and I was told by a mutual friend she really likes me. How should I approach her? I haven't met her in a month or so I was thinking about writing her. And I don't have a phone number, but I have her on Facebook. How should I how should I engage in this conversation, Mister Fucking Lucario?
So he's saying he don't have her phone number, so he's gonna just I guess holler at her through
Well,
Facebook or
how
something like
should he?
that.
How should he? How should he?
Right. I mean, well, if he all he really needs to do is like he sort of knows about her, she knows about him. He's saying that the friend said he's interested or whatever. All he needs to do is just hit her up and say, "Yo, what are you up to this weekend? Let's get together and get a drink." And that's it. That's what you really got to do. Because if she's interested, she's gonna respond. She's gonna reply back. You know what I mean? I think him sort of making it a big deal or making it like this big thing. That's the thing that's gonna make the whole interaction not go so well if he
Mm-hmm.
even does get something going with her. You know what I mean? Because he's making the whole situation or the whole interaction like this event. And I always tell guys, don't make interacting with women an event. It should be something that's like an everyday thing, an everyday occurrence, just like brushing your teeth or taking a shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just something else that you're doing. So so don't make it a big deal. You know what I mean? Just go, just hit her up, be like, yo, it's good, let's get together, and then have her hit you up, and then take it from there. But what's your thoughts on that?
All right. Well, my thoughts on this. Hopefully, catch me. Hopefully, I sound louder now. My thoughts on this is I want guys to understand this. If I found out a woman like me that was very interesting, like Miss Lucario said, it's really easy just to walk up to her and start talking to her and letting her know what's going down. Now I know you have her Facebook, but one thing I don't want you to do, if you can't do it, I would rather you do more of a face to face meeting. Now, if I think like I say in the email, I think he knows her, but let me double check. I think he
Right.
knows her, and let me double check that. Let me see here. Let me go back and read this. Let me go back. See, he met her in February, and they hit it off for one night. She said she had a boyfriend, so that's telling me that. Well, the question is, I guess, did they hit it off at a club or a bar where they didn't exchange information? Um, but the thing is that you were told by a mutual friend she likes me. How you should approach her? Just approach her, guys. Don't be afraid
Right.
she already knows that you were interested in you, and if she likes you already, Miss Locario, this should be more of a slam dunk because now all he has to do is just really
Right.
put his bid in, Miss Locario. What is your take on that, man?
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, if she's really into him, she's gonna be receptive to him hitting her up. You know what I mean? So all he has to do is just lay it down and create the situation for them to get together. So, a lot of times, like it's funny because it seems like he's overthinking something that seems like it's already ready to go down
Mm-hmm.
anyway. It's just for him to start the process. So
Right.
it's like, yo, just hit her up and leave it at that. Now, I would say to him, don't if you hit her up and she doesn't respond, don't be hitting her up again like two, three, four times. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like you just gotta, just like keep it pushing and do your own thing. And then if she actually wants to get at you, she'll get at you. You know what I mean? So just lay it down and then wait for her response or also talk to other girls, interact with other women. But what I'm saying is just it's almost like set it and forget it. You know what I'm saying? Just like,
Yeah.
look, this is what it is, and then just keep moving. That's
You
it.
you know there are
That is
times
it.
Miss Lacar, there are times where I would you hear from the grapevine women are interested in you from other people and shit. And I would go talk to them
Right,
and
right,
they would try to put up that front like, where I'm not really interested in you type thing. I'm like cool, but you know what? Maybe she's saying that cuz she's around her friends. I don't know what the situation is, but you know
right,
what? I pull it to the
right.
side. Here's my card. Give me a call. Holler at me. Then, later on, if it's
Mm,
a day or a week or whatever, she'll get back in touch with me, and then we'll
right,
just, I bite her neck and take her up the tree at that point, man. So,
right,
so
right.
definitely.
So dope.
What do you have
So
on it?
dope.
What you got on your end, Mr. Carr? What's your next one?
All right, cool. So this one says, I've been watching your work for a while, and I totally find your approach uh, to the game very realistic, and it fits to my personality. And this is the reason I write you because I feel that I need some support to end my insecurities about women once and for all. I have been in a coaching program for 6 months that was supposed to help me overcome some issues, and after the program, my performance got even worse for some reason. I know that I am really superior physically and mentally than other people, and I can realize that in every work that I have been in, that they automatically recognize me as a leader without ever having to try to do anything special. Nevertheless, my progress in game is so slow that I haven't been with a woman for a long time, and this makes me have a lot of anxiety. And at the same time, I see people that are really worse than me in every aspect, including conversation skills, enjoying being with women who are really pretty and sexy. I may have some issue with my ego, but recently I lost my motivation in game because of the lack of results. My question is, how do you think I can make things happen? And second, how is it possible to have a personal coach with you? I'm 35 years old, and I feel that I'm wasting a lot of time, and this feeling takes away from my motivation for all the other things in my life. And what I want is to turn this frustration into the right energy no matter what. All right, so Steve, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, Ms. Licari, I feel like he's a walking contradiction here because on one hand he's saying, okay,
Right,
I look like a man and I'm bold and I'm
right,
assertive
right,
and I'm all these things around everybody else. But then on the other hand, Mr. Lucario, he's saying he's having problems, and this is the thing that a lot of you guys have to understand. And I'll use an airplane pilot for a second. An airplane pilot has super confidence in his job because he's got lives. He's got to make sure that he gets you from point A to point B without crashing the plane, and he has great confidence. But
right.
that's what you do at your job. It's not who you are. Because when he takes off his hat,
Mm,
he may run and see a beautiful woman and like this guy here not have the confidence. And that's one thing that I think of Mr. Corio, a lot of guys have to understand when it comes to having confidence and being alpha and all these things is that you just because you're doing it at your job doesn't mean that she's going to see you as a man if you can't do it outside your job. You've got to be able to
right,
I think Miss Lucario, a lot of guys are having a problem with is they don't understand that being a man is a 25-hour 8-day-a-week job, and even on Sunday, there are no days
Right.
off. You cannot be confident at work and then be putty in a woman's hands face to face. So what he needs to do
Right.
is really push his ego aside. I know he must feel this great
Mhm.
urge of confidence when he's at a job and people notice it. But here's the problem. You get outside your comfort zone, meaning that if you get him out of his environment, he will not be able to handle or adjust to it, meaning that he is going to have a hard time with women, Mr. Cario. What's your take on that, man?
Right. And I agree with you. It's like it's I used to call it the Spider-Man syndrome, where like how Spider-Man he's like the superhero guy. He can do all these great things
Yes.
and all that other stuff. But when it comes to talking to Mary Jane, he can't do it. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes,
Like
yes,
he's just
yes,
what I mean?
yes.
And so that's what happens with a lot of guys where they'll be good at all these different things, but they think because they are competent in all these other areas that it's going to translate over to dealing with women, and it doesn't work that way. But also with this guy's situation, I would say he's saying that he's been coaching or trying to coaching for the past 6 months and trying to find a coach and all this other stuff, and he was saying that he's lost his motivation because of his lack of results, and I think his lack of results, a lot of it comes from him trying to compare himself to other people. You understand? Because he's saying, oh, these are other people who aren't as, I guess, built as me, or who aren't as smart as me, but they get things going, and how come I'm not getting things going? You know what I mean? And so the thing is that him comparing himself to the other people, it loses focus off of himself improving himself. You see what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
he's worried about everybody else in comparison to him instead of trying to compare himself to himself. That's the only comparison there should be. It should be him trying to better himself, in relation to his own self, instead of trying to look at other people and then comparing yourself to those people and then getting mad that you're not getting results. Because as soon as you're looking at other people, you're no longer focusing on you. And then the focus needs to be on you in order for you to get better. And I think that's one of the biggest problems that he's having too, is that he's focusing so much energy on everyone else, and that's taking focus away from him improving. And I think the last thing also I think also is that his ego is getting in the way of his progress, because since he's so concerned about he's like, oh, I'm this and I'm that, and I have these superior skills, and I'm this type of guy and that type of guy. And so since he's not seeing certain results, it makes him feel even more insecure, because he feels that he's entitled to certain results because of how he views himself. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And in a certain sense, you can use that as motivation in your game. You can say, hey, well, I'm this really cool guy, so I should be getting women. But at the same time, you can't just say it. You have to also be about it. And I don't think he's really being about it in this moment. He's just more so saying it and comparing himself to other people, and sort of just falling back and looking at things from the outside in. And he's not really in the game, really, taking it to the next level. So I think he needs to, first, stop comparing himself to other people. He needs to let go of that ego, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And he needs to put himself in the game to where he can actually see the results, and and focus more on him and not focus so much on other people. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
yeah, that.
yeah. I think a lot of guys need to understand your greatest competition is you, and that's how you should. That should be your measuring stick.
Right,
You,
right,
not the next man, but yourself. And I think a lot of guys don't understand that power, or they don't understand that they will have more power and more assertiveness and more leadership and all this confidence when the listen,
right,
you'll never for me, Mr. Cario, I can never outdo myself, and that's the competition to me. I look in the mirror and
right,
I feel like the mirror saying, "Bitch, I got you today, dog. You got to step your." And I'm like, "Fuck, I got to work.
right,
I got to work that much harder." But I never,
right,
to me, I never will win against that man in the mirror. But I know one thing: I'm gonna do everything I can to try to surpass his ass, and I just make it about myself. I don't make it about everybody else. I don't make it about the woman. I don't make it about my friends and what they're doing. I try to make everything about what
right.
I'm doing, man. What's your take on that, man?
Right. No, I agree. I agree, and that's the thing that is going to improve a lot. You know, a lot of guys' game is that focus needs to be on you and what you need to do to get from point A to point B is really that simple. Because anything else is every time you're focusing on something else or somebody else or what this person got going and how come you don't have it going on, all that energy you spend could have been energy that you could have used to step up your stuff. You understand? And the thing is, there's always going to be somebody who probably has more things than you, or you might think somebody has a prettier girl than you, or this guy might have, got rejected less than you. All these different things. You know what I mean? So worrying about that is a waste of time because you can always find something to, compare yourself to other people and then get annoyed about it or get mad about it. But you got to understand that none of that matters. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
none of that matters because at the end of the day, after you're finished, bitching and moaning about that, you're still in the same place. So you still have to say, okay, what do I need to do for me to get where I need to go, to get the women I want, to attract the women I want to have in my life? So what am I supposed to do for me and not worry about what everybody else is doing or what everybody else is getting or feeling like, well, this guy right here, he's not as good looking as me, so how come he's getting girls and I'm not? And the main reason is because that guy focuses on himself while you're focusing on him. You see?
Yeah.
And so that's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's
Absolutely.
crazy.
Guys, if you have a question, the number to call in is 515-605-9373. That's 515-605-9373. Press 1, and we'll love to have you in. Now, I got a kind of a long one here, Miss Locario. It's kind of long, so all right, just kick your feet up for a second. Oh my
All right,
gosh.
cool,
Oh
cool.
man. All right, let me read this shit. All right, here we go. We're trying to improve I'm trying to improve my relationship, but it's difficult to improve when you don't know where you went wrong. I'll keep this as short as possible. I'm 25. I moved into town for work, not much to do. I met a nice girl and we had a couple of I had a couple of dates with her. Things aren't escalating, but I keep it cool. Several dates, she spills that she has a boyfriend of 3 years and was worried that she would ruin it if she told me because she really likes me. I tell her to stay with her boyfriend. We text every day. I decide to move on and I don't initiate conversation. Week passes. Out of nowhere, she says she wants to meet. She broke up with her boyfriend, and I don't know if it was because of me or not. We set up a real date next week. The date goes really well. We make out. She's super into me. It's all good. We text each other every day, giving space. Happy to be with her since I'm alone in this town, but I don't want to be needy. This is where it turns bad. We're set to meet briefly on Saturday, and she tells me that she's free today, which is Friday. But I want to give her space and want to do my own thing. She ends up going out with a friend to the beach. Saturday comes, and I expect to spend more time with her to grab a bite. She cuts it short. She has other plans with her friend. Wait, let me see. Cuts it short. Hold on. Wait, she ends up going to the beach Saturday. Okay, sorry. She cuts it short, has other plans with the friend before work. I try to make no big deal of it. I tell her, let me know what her schedule is next week. May have broken my composure a little bit, but it's cool. Nevertheless, I believe the ball is in her court. We go 3 days of no communication. I initiate. Immediately, she tells me her schedule without me asking. I tell her where I want to go. No response in 24 hours. Then the date is tomorrow, followed by, oh, sorry, the C text. Okay, sounds good. I'm almost done, Mr. Lucario. The whole time I'm wondering, what is she trying to pull? Then she asks me, can we hang that day? It's only my day off, and I usually spend time with my mom. I think to myself, sounds like she would rather be with her mother than with me. A complete 180 from when last I saw her. The date is still tomorrow, and it's really messing up my inner game. I'm new in town. I have no friends. Not much to get excited about. One more thing, she's kind of young, very attractive, gets plenty of male attention. She sees herself and she said herself, I don't know what she means by that. She said herself, she doesn't know what she wants, but I'm confused if I'm overthinking things or has she lost interest in me? What should I do, Mr. Cario? Jeez, that was long.
Mm. Man, that's a lot of stuff going on.
There's a
But
lot of stuff
from
going
what it
on.
sounds like, he was saying that this girl had a boyfriend, they broke up, and then he started messing with her, and now he was trying to sort of get like see her again or whatever, and she's sort of giving him the runaround. Is that like
Yeah, yeah,
the
basically,
gist of it?
yeah,
You know,
basically, to sum it up, yes, the runaround,
right,
yes.
right. And so what's interesting is that he said that she's kind of young. I would love to know exactly what her age is and how old he is. But what I would say is that what it seems like is that she's just probably in a stage because like if she just broke up with a boyfriend, you understand she's most likely probably in certain cases still in contact with him, so they're probably still going through the back and forth stuff. And on top of that, she probably has other guys that's trying to get with her, just like this guy's trying to get with her. And what she's trying to do is she's trying to manage her options and see which one is the best option to go with at the time.
Right.
Which is why he's getting the runaround. You understand? Because see, the difference between men and women is this: is that generally, because you got some exceptions, but generally, when a man makes a plan, right? It's like, hey, I'm gonna do this. It's locked in here, and this is what's going to happen, right? But you're making the plan based off of you already made the decision to get with that girl and see her. Women, on the other hand, when they're making plans, they love to not make definite plans because they want to have the wiggle room to be able to choose what they feel is the best option for them at the moment. You see what I mean? So
Yes,
this is
sir.
why when he was probably hitting her up or whatever, she's like, oh, I don't know, I'm here, I gotta probably see my mom, or this is going on, or that is going on, because she's probably has other dudes that she's waiting on to see if they're gonna holler or if they're gonna make something happen, and she has him there as the backup. You see what I'm saying? So
Oh,
that could be it too, where it's like he's basically just the backup for her if what she really wants to happen doesn't fall through. So it could be either her ex-boyfriend or some other guy, and she's waiting around for those things to pop off. And then if none of that happens, then she'll get with this dude. You know what I'm saying? Because
oh
the
yeah.
thing is, a woman when she's into you and she's really into a guy, she basically makes it easy for things to go down. You understand? So she's gonna make it easy for somebody. She's gonna make it easier for the guy who she chooses or she thinks is the best option. So while he's getting a runaround, you best be sure that there is a guy who's not getting the runaround. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or the guy who's getting more of the attention, or because he said in one thing he said, hey, I text her and I didn't get a response until 24 hours later. Within that 24 hours, she was sizing up her options. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So what I would say for this guy is that I would say for him, he needs to just let what he needs to let happen be known. Like say, hey, listen, we're gonna do this, this, and this, and this day, right? And he has to get a definite response from her to say, yes, I'm gonna do it. Now, if she's going some maybe, I don't know, can I get back to you? You understand? You're like, listen, holler at me when when you free, and then just stop texting, calling her at all. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he needs to completely remove himself as an option. Because see, removing yourself as an option, it's going to increase your attractiveness to women in general. Because you being there as an option sort of is like, well, I have you in the wing, I have you waiting. But if you are removing yourself, she's like, oh my goodness, like I don't want to lose him as an option, so let me try to do something so I don't lose him as an option. If she actually has some sort of interest in you, you see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So just remove yourself as an option. And that's all it is, and then you'll really see if she's trying to make something happen or if she's all over the place or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Two things I would say in this scenario, and these are important. Number one, Miss Locario, I think he needs to learn, and anyone listening to this show, is that we're not run around. We're not no run around type men. Meaning that again,
Right.
when I meet a woman, I'm gonna let her know off the bat. I'm not about the bullshit. I'm not about the drama. I'm not about the silly ass
Right.
games. And if you
Mm-hmm.
feel like you want to do those things and you're not sure, then you ain't the kind of person I want to be with in the first place. So
Right.
If I ever feel like Miss Locario, I am getting a runaround from a woman. It's cool though because it goes to my second point. See, when I go to a new town, that's new territory. I'm like a lion that's in a new part of the Serengeti I've never been in before.
Right.
So I'm going everywhere, trying to meet women all over the place. And what I will have is one in the chamber, meaning that you know what?
Right.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket until you learn about the chicken. And in this case, no, I would never put all my eggs in one
Right.
basket. I got to have that one in the chamber because you know what? Women will be fickle sometimes. And it's like you said, sometimes they will test you, and sometimes they may be busy. So I'm not gonna
Right.
waste my day like I'm on Happy Days and it's 1950 and I'm standing by the phone waiting for it to ring because you're my only
Right.
lifeline to having a exciting life. That's not happening. You
Right.
always got look. If and this is another thing, Mr. Cario. I don't think. See, he never came off of showing her that yes, I want to spend time with you, but you're not the only woman in town, and I have
Exactly.
options. If she knew he had options, she might change her tune because I Mr. Cario several times. I'm like, okay, well let's get together and do something Saturday, okay? And then she's like, "Well, I can't do anything. I'm sorry." And well, I guess you're just gonna be home playing video games. No, no, I'm not gonna be home playing video games. What are you talking about? What do you mean? What are you talking about? No,
Right.
I, I'm.
Right.
I mean, hey, look, check it out. You were first in line. I wanted to go out with you and spend some time with you, but if you're so busy, that's cool. I'm just gonna go spend time with this person over here. What do you
The
mean that
so and so.
person? Right, with so
Exactly.
and so. Who is so and so? And what do you mean so and so? Well, why are you asking all these personal questions and shit? What do you mean? I said, look, you just told me you were busy. You just told me you have other things to do, and listen, I'm not mad. I want you to have a great time.
Right.
I want you to enjoy yourself. And if you get a chance, give me a call. Maybe we'll hook up later on. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and get into something else. And what something else? What do you mean
Right.
something else?
Right.
Well, I'm gonna get into something else. I'm gonna go spend some time with this girl over here. Well, who is that girl? Well, what do you mean who that girl is? When we just met. You're not my girlfriend. We're just hanging out. Don't
Right.
think that you're the only one because if you think that, you're not the only one. It's just that I wanted to do something on Saturday. I thought about you. I thought I would ask you, but you know what? If you're busy, and again, I keep trying to. This is my problem, Cario. I keep saying it's fine. I have no problem with it. Go, have fun, do what you like to
Right.
do, and I'll go to get into something else. And then all of a sudden, then the
Right.
plans seem to change, Mr. Lucario. Then you get that. Well, I was free, but but check this out, L, because I want to throw this to you, Mr. Lucario. Even if
Right.
she were to call me later on that day and say she's free and we can do something Saturday, no, you fall back to the back of the line. Then you don't get a. This ain't a fast
Right.
pass where just because look, I asked you, you said no. I'm not gonna get mad, but
Mhm.
I'm gonna move on because I got one in the chamber. That's what that's
Right.
that's what a lot of guys understand. And again, I'm not trying to throw the other woman in the face, but the problem is, Miss Lucario, most women assume with guys like us or men like us that when she says no, we're gonna go home and put on a little apron. We're gonna bake some cupcakes and
Right.
stand in front of the TV and watch a soap opera and eat ice cream and just wait for her to have all her fun or wait for her to call me. No, have one in the chamber
Right.
because
Right.
you know what? Hey, have a good time. And again, what makes them more curious again, and it's said like this. See, they so worried about the bait, they're not looking at the hook. You know what I mean? And
Right.
she
Right.
she hears in my voice like most people be like, okay, well, yeah, sure, we'll reschedule or do something. That's what they're used to, Miss Lucario. But on our end,
Right. Right.
when she's like, I'm busy, I got something to do. hey, look, check this out. Why don't you make sure you look really sexy, have a great time, and when you have some chances, just holler back at me. Okay? I mean, but when she hears that, still he's not phased, he's still chill. He's this. and I know what kind of guy he is because the way he approached me, he's got to have other women. So that's when she tries to be, well, Jacques Cousteau or Sherlock Holmes, Miss Locario, trying to figure out, okay,
Right.
okay, since you're gonna be home and everything, I'll check in on you. Whoa. Nobody said,
Right.
and
Right.
and the thing is, Mr. Cario, we 1,000. I have no See, this is where guys fuck up because they think that if I tell her that I have one in the chamber, I'm gonna lose her. Quite the opposite.
Right.
Because when you
Right.
tell her you got one in the chamber, then she realizes that she ain't the only show in town, and then she's gonna be thinking about more
Right.
of what you're doing on your date. Then again, Mr. Cario, I don't know if she's on a date. I don't know if she's hanging out with her girlfriends. I don't know anything. And again, I'm not gonna press that issue, Miss Locario. I'm just gonna tell her it's okay, it's cool. Got one in the chamber. I'll talk to you later. Locario, what you got on that, fam?
Right. No, I totally agree. And see, that's the thing that turns the tables around a lot of times. Is like, a lot of guys, they have that, that sort of sad, oh, I'm upset that I can't see you tonight. I was really looking forward to it because this is, they have that energy when it comes to women. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is that she's coming at you in a way where she feels like she's looking at it like, hey, I want to have you as one of my options and as my backup. But what you got to do is when you interact with her, it has to be the energy of, oh, well, I'm not your backup because I actually got some other chick I might, I'm gonna go see. You understand? Like, hey, yeah, we could have got together, but since you say you're busy, cool. I'm gonna go see so and so, and we just gonna have to you gonna have to holler at me later. You understand what I'm saying? So it's almost like she feels almost rejected in a certain sort of way because I always tell guys, women want you to want them, even if they don't want you. You understand
Yes,
what I'm saying?
yes,
So
yes.
the fact that you're saying to her, hey, and I think it's important, like you said, to mention there's another chick. You feel what I'm saying? Because I think the mention of that, you understand? Because even if there isn't another girl, I would say mention that you're going out to see other women or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? Because the mention of that within itself puts you in a whole nother category of guys that she is going to be like she'll pay attention to that because that's the thing that jumpstarts the whole thing because the fact that she realizes that you're not just some lonely guy sitting there in the corner waiting for her that she could play around with. You're actually a guy who has options, and if she doesn't get on board, she's gonna lose out. You understand? It's not you losing out; it's she's gonna lose out because again, remember the reason why the girl's giving you the runaround is because she's looking for the best option, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's looking for the best guy. So now, if she's talking to two or three other dudes and she's trying to figure shit out, and all the other three guys are like sweating to her or blowing up her phone, but you're like, oh, by the way, we can't, you got something to do, or you're like, okay, cool, no problem. Listen, I'm gonna go, see Stacy real quick. This girl I've been like, meaning to see. I'm gonna go hang out with her. You can go do what you gonna do, and you can holler at me whenever, and and if I'm free, we'll see what's up. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
now she's
yeah.
like, oh, who's Stacy? And oh, how come he's not sweating me like all the other guys? How come he wants to go out with her instead of me? Is she prettier than me? Blah, 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 blah. You see what I'm saying? So now the whole game flips around. So, when she hollers back at you, or even if you holler back at her, it's a whole different thing. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, yes.
so you really got to understand how to flip the game on these chicks. So,
Yeah, yeah, and
it's crazy.
real quick, and what's very important is see if you got the way I always say, guys, you got to do everything in sync. The way you think, how you feel
Hmm.
about yourself when you walk at the
Right.
door, the way you approach women, because the approach can have a backdoor effect on her. Because if she sees the confidence, the arrogance, and all that in you, she's gonna know that you're one of those. Look, you're one of those guys. You're a
Right.
player. You must be this,
Exactly.
or you must. Oh, you're a dog. Oh, you must have a lot of women and stuff. And when I'm always asked that question, I say, well, I got women that are, friends. I mean, that's the only time I
Right.
mention women that are friends. I'm talking to some women. Of course I am. I mean, why wouldn't I? That's the attitude I
Mhm.
have. So what happens is that always comes back to bite her. Remember, they're looking at the bait and not the hook, gentlemen. But what hooks her
Right.
in is the fact that most guys that she is with normally will just say, "Well, my day is over with. I'm just gonna go put some socks in the microwave and
Mhm.
warm them up and put them on, and I'm gonna sit down and I'm a hope I get a
Right.
text message from her or Miss Locario. Well, should I text her right now? Is it too soon? What should I do? No, you have a life. You know
Right.
what? If always remember, guys, no means go and find the other one who will. If she says no, there are so many
Right.
that will when they meet a guy like you, because meeting a guy like you is so different, so intriguing, so mysterious, so all these things that they're waiting for you. And I'm not saying like they're waiting by the phone. What I'm saying is that you got one in the chamber. Guess what? You got one in the chamber and two in your pocket. If the one in the chamber doesn't work, you pull the
Right.
one out your pocket, lock and load that one. And if that doesn't work, guess what? Then you go out and go find some chambers and pieces to lock in the pocket. Don't ever stay home.
Right.
Don't ever base everything that you doing on this one woman. But if she knows
Mhm.
that you're the kind of guy that gets out of his cage and goes rampant all over the town, she's going to rethink everything. And when she does, never reward her for it. Because remember, I offered it one time. You said no, Mr. Lucario. So
Right.
because of that, and I
Right.
respect what you say, that doesn't mean you could call me right now and think that I'm going to push my plans aside. Because remember, my time is everything,
Exactly.
Mr. Lucario. So I gave you my time. Now you said no,
Mhm.
and I'm just putting it in the chamber, going to the next woman. But guess what? We don't have to do anything to. Hey, Lucario, how cool is this? How cool is this? Because then she's waiting on you to finish up with her, the one in the chamber.
Right.
And
Exactly.
what's so cool is,
Exactly.
look, either I'm gonna spend the night with this one, or I'm gonna get something from this one, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call old girl around 12 or 11, and then all of a sudden it's kind of more of a jealousy call of, well, where you been at, and what have you been doing, and you haven't called. I sent you a few texts, and well, baby, I was busy, I had company. It'd be rude. Wouldn't it be rude if I was with you and another woman called me? Think about that for a second. But look, hey man,
Right.
but here's a smooth Miss Lucario. Hey, but let me go ahead and make it up to you. How about this? How about I come by right
Right.
now? We can go ahead and talk it, and I'll go ahead and make it up to you. No, and then you get the little flirty stuff, but there's so many positives in this that most
Right.
guys, Lucario,
Right.
don't see. But what's your take on that before we read you? Anything else on that, Mr. Lucario?
Right. Nah, nah. I was just gonna say that's real talk, man. Because again, like, oh, you're telling them how to flip it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the problem with a lot of dudes in the game. They don't understand, how women think and how they operate. You know what I mean? They think
Yes.
that women think like us. And for women, it's all about that feeling they get from dealing with a guy who's that confident, masculine, alpha male type of dude. Because that confident, masculine guy, he's not gonna be waiting around for no girl. He's gonna have other women. He's gonna be like, yo, this is what it is. So it's almost like you have to almost get her to the point where she recognizes that, and then she's gonna recognize that through your actions. You see what I mean? And then so those actions are gonna get her in the motion of trying to come at you and get at you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, the fact that, like, and I like that you said, yeah, like, yo, if this chick says she's not free, and then you say, okay, cool, I'm gonna go see so and so, and then all of a sudden, because you doing your thing or whatever, she wants to holler back at you like that, like at that night or whatever, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
yo, no, I'm not changing my plans for you. Listen, I'll get at you later. I'll see if
Yes.
I'm free tomorrow. I'll give you a call tomorrow, or we'll see. I gotta see. It's
Yeah.
always I gotta see because
Yes.
now I'm putting you in my frame of the situation where it's like, okay, well, I'll let you know. You understand? And then now you got her back on your program. You know what I'm
Back
saying?
way
So
back on your
that's all
program.
it is.
That's some real
That's
game.
all
All
it is,
right,
man.
guys. Again, y'all want to call in 515-605-9373 is the number. We got two more emails to read, and we're gonna wrap this joint up. Go ahead, Mr. Carl. You up, fam?
All right, so this one says, I've noticed over my past few attempts at trying to start a romantic relationship with women that the women I want always start off really interested but lose interest. But the women that I don't want always chase me without fail, even after months of zero communication. Why do you think that is, and what could I do to stop that? Right, so what's your thoughts on that?
Okay, I think a lot of guys. Okay, a lot of individuals, a lot of cookie cutters out there. They don't know what romance is. They don't
Right,
know
right,
what you don't. Most guys have no idea how to really be smooth, seductive, romantic, sensual, sexual. I mean, I'm throwing these where they like, damn, you. What do you mean? What's the difference between that one? That wait, there's more thing. See, all those things tie into being romantic. A lot of guys don't.
mm,
You talking about romancing a woman? What are you trying to romance? Is the question. Are you trying to romance what's between her legs, or are you trying to romance what's between her mind? Because a lot of guys don't understand that there are levels to this thing and how you be romantic. Because I love. There's nothing like giving them a, and always go back to my mall sample, giving them a sample of what it would be like for me to romance them, doing things that nobody else would ever do to somebody, always thinking of not only outside the box, but making it a memorable moment in her life that she will never get with anybody else. That's where the romance in. Romance comes in the way you text. The romance comes in the way you talk. The romance comes in the way you look at her. The romance comes in by the way you touch her. The romance comes in by the way you talk to her while you're touching her. See, a lot of guys have no idea that, damn, I didn't know it was all about that. But look, not even that. The romance comes in the environment you put her in. The romance comes in about the kind of music you
mm,
have in that environment, the candles, the
right,
dancing, this half a smile, the looking, the holding her hand. There's so many levels to romance, but a lot of individuals, Mr. Cario, think that it's, I don't know, what they see on TV or something, and that's where they go wrong. Because if a woman runs into a Mr. Locario, okay, there is this thing that a lot of guys don't understand. There is a bar that is set with the Locarios of the world.
right,
And if that bar is set at
right,
10, if you cannot match or beat him, you will always fall beneath him. And that's what a lot of guys don't
right,
understand. They think that, okay, well, now to a normal other cookie cutter, you might kind of beat that guy out. But if she runs into a Mr. Locario, you're fucked if you don't know about the romance. Because, like I say,
mm,
romance can be shifting it up to seductive, shifting down to being smooth, shifting it over to being sensual,
right,
shifting it over to be sexy, rolling it all up to give her the romance experience that a Mr. Locario can give her. And if you cannot do that, what you're doing, before I toss you, Mr. Locario, what these guys understand is they are helping Mr. Locario out and they don't even know they're doing it. And let me explain why real quick.
right, right,
Because if Mr. Locario set the bar at 10, okay, and you coming at a 3, all she's gonna do is sit back and think about, damn, I remember when Mr. Locario talked to me a certain way. I remember how he looked at
yeah,
me when we came through the door. I remember how he held me, twirled me around, told me how beautiful he was. I remember how good he smelled and how he made me feel I was on cloud nine. How he made me feel when I walked through that door, I was walking on air. And when he does that, his fault is going to make her want to call Mr. Locario or think about what Mr. Locario's doing or who is Mr. Locario doing this to right now. So if you don't know
right.
what you're doing, you're going to help the guy who is above you, and you will never get the romantic woman that you always want because you don't know romance. What do you got on that, fam?
Mm. Real talk, real talk. Now you You hit it like on the nail with that shit because the thing too is that guys gotta understand when it comes to that whole like romance thing or a woman really being into you that way, right? It's something that's supposed to sort of happen naturally in their eyes. Like it's something that just sort of happened. You know what I mean? This is why a lot of times if you ever hear women who will say like, "Oh, I don't like online dating," or like they'll say if I met someone online, I want to lie and say that we met at a park or something. You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
that story, you know what I'm saying, is important to them. That whole experience is important. But with this dude, and he was saying in his email was that he would start this romantic relationship with women, but he was like how it'll start off they would be interested and then they would lose interest. And I think what happens is that what he's doing is he's probably doing certain things in the situation where he's probably going a little bit overboard with trying to do certain things to keep it going. So, for example, I always tell guys like, look, if you are when you first meet a chick and y'all exchange numbers or something, or she got your number, she calls you, or you call her, or whatever, and set that date up so that you can actually meet her in person. You understand? So that you can actually get things going on a face to face level, right? So a lot of times what guys do is they'll meet a girl online or something, or they'll be texting her online, and they're texting back and forth, but they're not really saying anything. They're not really saying anything to get her interested if they're going to actually go back and forth. They're not really saying anything to, create that sort of like spark or anything. So then nothing really even comes about it, and then the girl loses interest and stops talking to him, or he doesn't try to pull the trigger and actually go out and meet her as soon as possible. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So there's something in the between the times that he's not really doing. You know what I'm saying? And so also in his email he said, there'll be women that he doesn't want to chase him, but they always hit him up even though he's not really hollering at them. You understand? So there's something in that which is making the women come to him because he's probably like, showing this very like, oh, I'm so laid back. I don't really care what you're doing. I'm not really trying to be all up on you all the time. So what he needs to do is he needs to be able to balance out his actions. So on one end, it seems like he might be doing too much, and on the other end, he's not doing anything, which is what gets these other girls interested in him. So the girls that he is interested in, he has to also play that balancing act of, showing them some attention but pulling back, showing them some attention, pulling back, showing them some attention and pulling back. And that within itself creates that spark. You know what I'm saying? Within the situation that you're in with women, because even that tension of not knowing if you're going to call her back or if you're interested in her is part of the romance. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's part of it. Her sitting at home worrying about if you are interested in her or not is part of the whole thing. But if you are, if you see a woman and you're really interested in her and you're showing her too much attention, you're doing too much too soon, you don't give her that you don't give her the privilege of missing you. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And that's something that she needs in the situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she definitely,
So,
yeah, she
that is
definitely,
part of it.
yeah, she definitely needs to miss you. And I think that's what's happening with a lot of guys.
Right.
They're not, but again, how can she miss something that she doesn't really want in the first place when you don't, you can't miss an experience. You can't really,
Right.
and I think that's the problem with a lot of these guys don't understand is that these women, they look, they do want to, the quote unquote fuck, yes, but they want to feel special. They want to feel different. They want to feel like when they're with you, it's only you two in the world. And if you can't do that
Right.
or give her that experience, then she doesn't want to have anything to do with you. She'll hang out with you. Hey, she even might marry you or date you, but she will always be looking for that guy who can take her to that next
Mm-hmm.
level, man. So
Right.
so
Real talk.
let me
Real
see.
talk.
Yeah, let me go ahead and do this last one. We only got 6 minutes to go, so let me read this real quick. I met my friend's neighbor at a party. We at the end of the night, we go to her room. We mess around but don't have sex. I briefly text her on the next day, which went well. I called her today. She answered right away, but could not hear me. I called her 3 more times and left a message on the last one. She hasn't called me back. I feel like I came off too needy. Any suggestions on how I proceed, Mr. Locario? It's a weird
So
one.
he said he called her back a few times because she couldn't hear him
Yes, yeah,
on the
yeah, yeah,
phone.
yeah, yeah. They messed around, and then he texted her the next day, and then
Right.
he said then he called her today, and then she answered right away. Wait, she answered right away, but not she couldn't hear me. I called her 3 more times and left a
Right.
message on the last one. She has not called back, and I'm feeling like I came off too needy.
Right. I mean, yeah. Well, doing that much like communication at first, you know what I'm saying, is way too much. Like if you hit her up and she couldn't hear you and it kept like going off, or or she couldn't get to the call. Just send her a text. Be like, hey, listen, the phone, the phone's fucked up, whatever. Hit me up later when you free so we can get together. Boom, that's it. See, a
Yeah.
lot of times, like when this is what I always tell guys: your actions say a lot about you. You understand what I'm saying? So if I'm a busy guy who has a lot of shit going on, who's doing my thing, I'm about my life. I'm about doing a lot of different things that's gonna help me and do all the other stuff I need to do. I don't got time to keep calling you, and the phone's dropping and all this other. Listen, yo, the phone is messed up. Holla at me later. That's it, and so we can talk about getting together. That's it. Then you just keep that shit pushing. So a lot of times that whole like energy and the thing that the stuff that you're doing, it says something about you to the woman. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's true, but this is how she might be interpreting it. So what she could have been interpreting is that, damn, this guy, he's he's trying so hard to get in contact with me. You know, saying text me and he's calling me 3 or 4 times and the phone's all fucked up. And so what it's to her, she could be interpreting that as you're gonna be like a dude who's like a stalker type of dude, a dude who's gonna be obsessive, a dude who's gonna be a little bit needy. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're not like that, it's just the actions, the way that you come across makes a woman feel that you might be a certain way. You understand? And the reason why she feels that way is because a lot of times guys who are non-needy, guys who are masculine, don't really interact with situations that way. You know what I mean? But Steve, what's your thoughts?
Dude, you hit that shit. You nailed that motherfucker on the head. No, I don't even know what the fucking say because you hit that shit. I don't even know. Hey, I don't even know what to say on that because you hit everything right, man. What I would like you say, I
Right,
would have just said, hey, look, bad connection. Call me when you're free. That's it. I would have left it
right,
at that and moved the
right.
fuck
That's
on.
it. Right,
Right.
exactly,
But when you, like you say, when
exactly.
you constantly call her like that, that's showing like there's something like you're getting weird. And why do you keep calling me? Why? No, here's the thing: you called twice, hung up, called a third time, then you left a voicemail. That's
Right, right.
I don't know. I think we're gonna go ahead and leave the show on that note right there, man, because that's I don't know
Right.
what else to tell you on that one. But no, you're right, Mr. Cario. So why don't you go ahead and give everybody your information, man, so they can know how to get to you, man.
All right, cool. Yeah, definitely check me out every Friday from 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Eastern on my YouTube channel, Locario Fan, because I have the live stream where you can call in and send me ask me questions and all that other stuff. And also make sure you guys go to badboymembership.com to join the Bad Boy membership, where you get 45 through 90-minute audio and video dating advice tutorials every month. You feel me?
Absolutely. And guys, for me, y'all can hit me up, www.themanmindset.com. I'm Steve the Dean Williams. Hey, look, Corey, I'm gonna call you real quick after the show because I have to ask you one more question about something. But anyway, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap.
Cool, cool.
We're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Yeah, but again, check me out every Tuesday and Wednesday night, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time here. And like I say, guys, y'all have a very, very good weekend. We'll see you back next Friday. Miss Locario, tell them we out, man.
All right, we out, people. We see y'all later.